there have been some really, really awesome movies. Like my all-time favorite movie is Rob Roy.
Yep.
And then next to that would probably be Lionheart. Or Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart. And
well, that Rob Roy film, do you know the song? It's actually took on a different name now. It's kind of fostered the name of Morag's Lament.
Okay.
But its original song is called Ellen Doyne. I actually sing that in our gigs in the Gaelic.
And now, explain to us a little bit about the song. I mean, as far as you know, how did that come to be?
The song was the song that used for that movie is called Ellen Doyne, which is dark-haired Alan, and it was actually about a young couple, and he went away to sea, and he never returned, and she seemingly, had been so heartbroken that she actually died on the shores, pining for him coming back. It's a beautiful song, absolutely beautiful, and I don't speak Gaelic at all, but I had to learn that song. When I first heard it years back in the movie, and I did a wee bit of research about it, and I thought, I have to learn that. I really do, like the song, and that's the thing as well. Getting back to the genres of music. I mean, I can sing a bit of rock, and then I'll go up and sing that, and I just if there's no instruments with it, I just sing it. Just sit and sing it, and it's such a beautiful song.
Well, now, that brings up another good point. I mean, I choose songs a lot of times based on my connection with them and a lot of times what they're about, or my interpretation of what they're about. And there was an artist we lost recently, Chris Cornell, and he sang with Soundgarden and Audio Slave, obviously, but he had a song called I Am the Highway. And I don't know, I heard it, the album cut with Audio Slave, and then I turned around and heard it acoustic. And I've always been enamored with the song, and I've been working on the song lately myself, and it is, I don't even know what style. I mean, a lot of people would say that it's more alternative style, but it's not even that. It's just such a different sound to it. And I was sitting thinking the other day, if your son was playing the whistles on it and you were singing it too, that would be a beautiful song. I mean, it would be amazing, even more so than it is now. And that's where I'm kind of strange, because I will hear an artist and then I'll start picking out songs that they could do, that they could sound, that I think they could do really incredible with.
All right, okay.
Do you ever do that? I mean, hear like a song and think, my son could really do that, or...
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it kind of strange how we do that by ear? We just pick it up and think, okay, yeah, and because...
that's it. I mean, if you've got... It's like you say, I mean, if you hear something, you automatically think, that would suit such and such.
Yeah.
Especially for, their voice.
Taking some cough syrup.
Oh. You got a cold?
Yeah. It's in the middle of the summertime here, very, very hot weather. But it's storming right now, but I feel the cold coming on. No, for obvious reasons, I have to say that I'm taking cough syrup. I'm having me a drink.
Well, so am I. I'm having a wine.
Yeah. Well, see, I worked very hard yesterday, and oh gosh, I tell you, it was so hot. I mean, like up in the 90s, beating down. It had been close to 100. Yeah, it had been close to 100 at one point, and we were under this massive tent, which the heat was like sitting in the top of the tent. So we were like trapped by heat, and it was just, we were slow roasting, okay? But
wow, that's hot.
Well, it was the first time in many years that I've sang in the middle of a song. I've got sweat just not dripping, just pouring off my elbows. And I'm like, wow, this is ridiculous. But we had a lot of fun. It was a great little deal we did, and it was kind of a community thing. So it was really nice to set up and everything like that. And they treated us really, really well, which always makes it so much better. But by the end of it, we were all just dragging, and we were like, oh, God, I can't do one more song, And
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, and people were starting to really come in then because it wasn't as hot. So people were starting to show up by that time and coming in and bringing their chairs and sitting inside the tent and listening to us. And you hate to stop doing it, especially then, but it's just like I was so drained. And I actually, interestingly enough, I actually left from that gig and went across town to the other side and heard a friend of mine and his band play, and actually then they called me up to sing, and so I was just, the time I got home I was just so wore out, and I slept most of the day today actually, because I've been kind of skating by with very little sleep, and it kind of caught up with me. So I thought you and I are having a nice conversation today, so I'm going to take me a drink.
Quite right as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got that raspy cough thing going on with my throat, and Jim Beam dropped by, and I figured I'd just, I would indulge. But and all in all, getting back to the music and getting back to yourself. Now, all in all, you're a singer-songwriter. You have a great passion for this. But now you do your own recording and stuff, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me an idea of how you started it, because you said that you're not that digitally inclined.
No. No, I'm actually just using a Zoom. It's the Zoom MRS 8-track. The small recording studio thing. It's very simple to use. And the mic is a Audio Technica, so basically that's all I have. I've got myself a couple of keyboards, put down some keys and that, and it just works, I'm always saying I'm going to get, update and get something like Pro Tools or something, but to be quite honest, my motto is, if it's not broke, don't fix it,
It sounds
and I like
really
the real sound, I like the real sound of the Zoom.
Right.
I think sometimes if you start doing it digitally, it can take that away. But I do like the real sound of it, and like I say, if it's working.
It sounds really good, though. I mean, I've heard the finished product, and it sounds really, really good. So I don't think you're not losing anything the way you're doing it. I mean, I could not. To me, I couldn't. It sounded like you'd been into a professional studio.
Well, I must admit, the only thing that I do find a wee bit difficult is the mixing. Because if you're using a few instruments, I mean, it's okay for me to listen, because I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way of mixing anyway. I just do it. I just trust my ears, But I would love to find out more about that. Get more into, the sound engineering it a wee bit better. But it's like everything else, it's there's no rules for that either. There's no rules saying that it's got to be done this way. And I think if you just trust your ears, you can't go wrong.
Right. But it's a neat thing though, because you still got, at the end of the day, you still got the freedom to make it your own, and as long as you can hear it and you're good with it, I think that's really what it boils down to in the end. I mean, for me it does anyway.
And I mean, the thing is, when I started putting, a couple of posts on my own original, music on social media and Facebook, it was just to see if people would like it. Mm-hmm. To be quite honest, it was just a little platform kind of thing to get some feedback, from other songwriters, to some pointers on where I could improve. And then, but the thing is, as you know yourself, you go to the pro studio, it costs quite a lot of money, and I thought, well, there's no point in going to the studio to get this done if no one's going to like it. So that was the whole point of putting it on social media, just to get a few. And the thing is, you're getting the connection with people, you're interacting with people, you're getting their opinions, like I say, any feedback, whether it's good or bad, it's always welcomed. If you're making mistakes doing anything at all, a lot of these songwriting groups, they're very good, and a couple of comments has been about the mixing, and I thought, well, I'm not I'm not a sound engineer anyway, not clued up on that. But it's always good. It's always good feedback, and then that's how I decided, right, okay, we're just gonna go for the album, which is coming on really well. I'm can't wait till that's finished.
Well, so I myself am hoping to get to hear this album, because I believe it's going to be a pretty exceptional album. Now, a lot of people again don't realize the artists that we have out here that are unheard, and that's kind of the focal point of this show, is to put those artists out there kind of on Jump Street and let people be able to get acquainted with them. And obviously doing like the interviews, like what we're doing today, it gives it a more personal touch, so they feel that they can kind of connect with you personally. So I want to get your music out there. I want to help you any way I can, and I want you to stay in touch with us. Thank you.
Oh yes, definitely.
Let us know what's
going on. But yeah, I mean, social media there, I mean, the amount of talent that's on some of these songwriting groups, it's absolutely amazing, and they're just like myself. They're just, in their bedrooms, playing, having a jam, belting out some songs. But there's some absolutely talented people, that are, nobody's hearing them.
Right. Well, and there again, that's the whole point of it. I mean, for me, I've done a few things in music. Obviously I've never been a big superstar or anything like that, and don't think I would want to be, but I have done a few things in music, and I want to help other people have that opportunity to do some things that I've done and beyond. And gosh, there's so much talent out there. Sometimes I'll catch myself sitting there listening to somebody else, such as yourself or your son or whoever, and I'll be thinking, man, they're so talented, I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's just...
Well, that's it. I mean, I was the same. When I started this, I really didn't have a lot of confidence.
Oh my gosh. You're amazing.
It was, I was quite shy. I'm not so bad now, though, I must admit. I remember going to my first couple of gigs, and I was just, I was shaking. I was shaking so badly, My son was like, just enjoy it, But once I got like a couple of songs under my belt, I was fine. But yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking. I mean, I used to sing when I was 15 at the folk club, and I didn't have any problem, I wasn't shy then. I think just over the years, you kind of just think, oh, well, are you good enough, Mm-hmm. But no, it's that doubting Thomas always creeps in. But no, I must admit, my confidence is a lot better.
Well, and I understand where you're coming from there, because even though I've done so many shows, there's no possible way I could ever count how many shows I've done. I still get nervous. Just like last night when I got to sing with that friend of mine. I know him well. I know most of his band members well, and I knew some of the crowd, and I'd literally just done a show earlier yesterday, but I still found myself nervous, doing one song, and I was like,
yeah,
in my head I'm thinking, get with it, man. Why are you nervous? But I still do that, but at the same time,
I think you need that, though. I think I think you still need, to keep yourself, nobody likes over